All right, good Friday evening, August 23rd, 2024. I'm Dr. Jesse Roberts. This is Join or Die. Please forgive me for my absence. If you're regularly watching my stuff the last week, I have had an inner ear infection and it's driving me nuts. It's not going away, and I have been insanely dizzy. And usually I'll be okay until I sit down to work at my computer and work at my desk. So if you see me lounging back like this, this is the reason why. And if I cut this short, it's because I feel ill. This has been going on for about 2 weeks now, and it's just not going away and not getting worse. I'm not taking antibiotics or anything for it because it's just it's not bacterial. It's a chronic issue I have. So we wrapped yesterday. The DNC finally concluded, and wow, what a spectacle it was. It was, as people have been saying, it was about a mile wide and an inch deep. There was no substance. There was no policy. There was no long-term direction for the Democratic Party. There was no real, nothing really mattered. There's no, nothing mattered about the substance, if you even call it substance. And so just a few things I guess I wanted to jump into tonight. That was one of them. So I am, my name is Dr. Jesse Roberts. I'm a writer, podcast writer. I'm a historian, writer, content creator, podcaster, whatever, lump it all in to one. Writer and, so historian and writer are my main professions. And content creation is something I'm delving into here, clearly. So today on this beautiful Friday afternoon, it's interesting that we are now in August. It's crazy. I wanted to touch on quickly the whole RFK endorsing Trump thing, and my push for it isn't really so much that I think it matters that much. It's a good endorsement to have. There's just an angle here I wanted to touch on this that's really just kind of blowing my mind. And I wanted to bring this up. Let me just put this up in my browser and pop this page open for you. Where am I? There I am. Okay. So here you go. So you see there, this is, sorry. So the Democratic National Convention. Okay, now this is the wrong thing. Where the hell did that thing go? Oh, great. What the heck? Oh, okay. Well, it's in the bottom of this article, which is stupid. But so down here in this little blurb in the bottom, it says, where did it go? Okay, so when it comes to RFK, this is a part I wanted to show you. It says RFK's siblings scorn him for endorsing Trump. 5 Kennedy siblings released a statement denouncing him for his Trump endorsement, saying it's a betrayal of the values that our father and their family hold most dear. It's a sad story. Sad ending to a sad story. Okay. This just royally pisses me off in so many levels. Okay. What does the modern Democratic Party represent anymore? It doesn't represent the people. It represents the establishment, the political elite, and it represents the very thing that essentially took out members of the Kennedy family, including the sitting president of the United States and JFK. You're talking about the Democratic Party actively, it's basically just this is the continuation of that establishment, the very same that assassinated JFK. So his family saying, well, he just went away from all the values of our family. It's unbelievable to me that they would even go there. Because listen, when it comes to this election, Trump, it's not about being a Republican or a Democrat at this point, because the Republican Party doesn't want Trump either. This is about something different. And what that something different is supposed to be a rejection of the establishment, the one and the same. It's supposed to be a rejection of the constant wars, constant, the bloated bureaucratic administrative state, etc., etc. The very thing that took JFK's life, mind you. And for them to scorn their brother and say that he's a disappointment to the family. It's not even just about the fact that this is the same establishment that tried to take out, that did, successfully take out a member of his family, as I'm sure most people would agree at this point. It's not really secret knowledge anymore. So what happened to RFK in this whole ordeal? RFK, what? He tried to run as a Democrat. What happened with the Democratic Party? Did they let him have a fair shake? Oh no, they did everything in their power to make sure that he was never going to be a realistic candidate. He's a Kennedy. This is Democratic Party royalty. And they said, hell no, we don't want you. Because Kennedy is much like the Kennedys that have served before. They were anti-establishment figures. JFK was constantly pushing back on his intelligence agencies and his deep state. And that's what cost him his life. So that very same mechanism kept Bobby Kennedy Jr. out of the race. The mechanism that JFK pushed back against. So that same the modern Democratic Party it was basically just a concerted effort to say, hell no, we don't want you, even though you're Democratic Party royalty. Because of what? Well, because you're going to ruin what we have going on here, which is a continuation of this never-ending big government, this crap show. And Bobby Kennedy Jr., well, he wants to call us out for our mistakes and our lies and our propaganda, and we can't have that. It's going to ruin our thing, even though we're terrible at everything. I wrote a Substack article earlier. It's just a brief thing. It's interesting. I just kind of I logiced my way through this situation and how they're desperately clinging on to this old Democratic Party nonsense, really the old American politics nonsense, where they really want to continue that post World War II thing, like the Cold War era type stuff. The proxy wars and the getting involved in other countries' businesses and the massive rearmament and just continuation of armament in general, and NATO and all this other stuff. And they want to continue the government spending, because government spending, according to Democrats, is the greatest thing ever, because they believe in Keynesian economics, which is a relic from the after the Great Depression, where they believe that government spending is what essentially pulled us out of the Great Depression, which it didn't. It prolonged it, but that's neither here nor there. My point being is, this is the order they need to continue. They need this to be a thing in perpetuity. And someone like Kennedy, someone like Trump, someone like Bernie Sanders is a rejection of that. Nope, we only need to continue it. We need like the Clintons and the Bushes and Obama. And we need, and I don't know if you noticed, but Trump has completely mellowed out since his assassination attempt. Now listen, I understand that does a lot to your head, but something tells me is he got a message. He got the message. And now he's being careful, because I think any of us would take that message very seriously. And it just baffles me that RFK Jr.'s family would scorn him for dropping out and endorsing Trump over the very Democratic Party that basically colluded to refuse him as a candidate. He would have been a real viable candidate, but he isn't the kind of candidate they want. They don't want a candidate that's going to think for themselves and have their own policies and actually try to get things done. and actually fix our problems and end the status quo. They want a person that is not an independent thinker. They want someone that's just going to take whatever policy positions they're given and go along with it. That's what Biden is. That's what Harris represents. RFK is probably not going to play ball. They don't want him. But you guys you're disparaging your own family member because the party that refused to allow him Secret Service protection after the history that family has, they're going to scorn him for that, for endorsing Trump and not endorsing that disaster. It's despicable. And it's got to be heartbreaking, and you got to feel bad for the guy whose own family is more hell-bent on the old idea that, well, we're Democrats. We're this old school Democrat family. You can't betray the Democratic Party like that. It's going to make us look bad. Taking these headphones off. It just helps with the ear. I don't really need it right now anyways. I'm not listening to myself, so you can know what my ears look like. But that's what it's more important. It's loyalty to party over loyalty to principle. Despicable. So, I know, I'm sorry. I sound like I'm a real great time right now. I'm not feeling the greatest. And I really want to keep this train going. I like doing this content creation stuff, and I need to keep it up regularly, so I'm fighting through. You know what's interesting? Do you ever get, if you have kids someday, if you do, or if you currently do, it's this like real fun thing as a parent. You get to show your kids movies that you watched as a kid, do things you got to do as a kid. You know, like I have a Nintendo 64. I'm a 90s child. It's so fun to like get my kids to play that with me. And we've been working our way through movies now, like from when I was a kid. You know, I showed them like all the Indiana Jones movies, which they love. My favorite of all time, basically. You got Back to the Future, Never Ending Story, like, you know, just stuff like that. And tonight I showed my daughter the original Jurassic Park movie. And it's like, man, if you watch that movie, it looks better than the new ones because of all the CGI crap. This must have been some type of remastered version because there was some like really kind of some like CGI elements added to it. But it's just crazy how like giant robotic dinosaurs look better than CGI. And it's a fun thing. So what you do is you take a spreadsheet or a Google sheet, whatever, and every time a movie pops in your head, you stick it up and then you check your way down the list. We don't watch movies and TV very often, but it's just fun to do that. And it was nice to do that tonight. I'm not feeling great, so just to chill out, watch a movie. So that's throw that in there. It's the small things in life, you know. I know this is some insane election that has drastic consequences. I'm not really buying that at this point, but you know, enjoy the small things. It's not all about it's not all about just the stupid election in politics, because in reality, the president in the grand scheme of things doesn't really matter a whole lot. You need to get the other parts of this machine in order as well. Now, last night wrapped the DNC, and of course Kamala Harris gave her speech, and there was just between Biden, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, Tim Walz, there's just nothing. There was nothing there. There was no substance. Every speech was just, let me publicly showcase my Trump obsession. Everything was bashing Trump. It was insulting him. It was making up lies about him. You know, Biden did the old man screaming thing for his whole speech. Sputtering nonsense and blatant lies that have been debunked. Barack Obama mocked him. Kamala Harris just, she just continued on the same route of this is the end if this guy gets reelected. So I wanted to show this article. So of course, if you're into news and you're into this thing and you follow, so I just use like on Twitter, I made lists. So I made lists of right-wing sources, left-wing sources, and like independent news sources. So I click on the left-wing news sources, as I do often. And everything is just lauding Kamala Harris and Tim Walz and the Democratic National Convention. There was a person the other night when I was on X, and they showed so Tim Walz was an assistant high school football coach. Apparently they won a state championship or something, and they had players from his high school there. It was like 5 guys, aged, out of shape, right? And it was funny because somebody said on there, they were like, this campaign, this is the most, like, it was just the most mind-blowing Democratic National Convention ever because of how smart they were by bringing those guys in. And it's like, there's nothing here. This is a popularity contest. I know elections are that way, but not popularity contest in that regard. I'm talking like high school level popularity contest. I'm popular, I'm nice, I'm attractive, I'm better than him, vote for me. And then the same goes with every candidate just mocking him endlessly. And then every article is like, Trump throws temper tantrum, Trump loses his mind over the DNC. And so we have gone down the road of just, now the articles, they have to make you laugh about what a joke they are, because they are completely suckered into this whole thing. I mean, it's just a bunch of BS. So it's after what I witnessed last night and the week prior, there's nothing that has me sold that Trump will lose the election aside from shenanigans, which I wouldn't put it past them. They're this desperate to win. But you have to ask yourself, I think that she came across as this big threat until she went up there and gave the same speech she's been giving on her election circuit the whole time. And it's just anti-Trump, 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 vague policy position, vague this, vague that. Okay, the end. Tim Walz spoke for like 9 minutes. But, so here you go. This is where we're at now. Harris's DNC speech drew 28.9 million viewers, 500,000 more than Trump. So her nomination acceptance speech on Thursday drew an average of 28.9 million viewers across cable television. It's cable television, mind you. According to Nielsen ratings, about 500,000 more viewers than tuned in to hear former President Trump at the Republican convention. Over 26 million viewers watched the 4th night of the DNC. Programming overall, 6.7 million viewers in the coveted 18 to 54-year-old demographic. Wahoo. It's quite the demographic there. The DNC also drew about an average of 3 million more viewers than last month's RNC over the 4 nights. Okay, so the figures released Friday mean the 2024 DNC had an average of about 200,000 more viewers than 2020. Yeah, did they even have a DNC in 2020? 8.2 million less than in 2016, when 30 million people watched former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, the witch herself, become the first woman to accept a major party's presidential nomination. I'm just going to see. I don't remember them having a 2020 DNC. It must have been a total joke. They did have one. What? Did they like have 15 people there? I don't remember that at all. I don't remember Biden doing much of anything. So Fox News said it drew 10 million viewers during the hour in which Trump accepted the RNC nomination. And okay, so this whole thing, you can go back and read this. It's an article from Politico if you would like. So drawing that many viewers does not mean that she's more popular than him. for one. For two, those are viewers across cable news. Okay. I don't have cable. I watched it online. I watched it during Steven Crowder's stream, his his election, his DNC coverage streams. He did 2 nights. He covered Tim Walz. I mean, they had it all set up to do fact checking and everything, and literally Walz spoke for 9 minutes. There was nothing to fact check, and of course he just sputtered off with a bunch of BS. And so I was watching it on that stream. So like through internet traffic, they're not counting that. My belief would be in general that traditional Democrats, especially like, I know it said 18 to 34 was 7 million or something in that demo. Let me just see that again. I'm just speculating here. Okay, so 6.7 million viewers in the 18 to 54-year-old demographic. Okay, so that leaves you with about 20 million unaccounted viewers. And I'm assuming that a lot of these are more traditional type Democrats, or probably hardcore Democrats, who tune in to watch it across cable networks. And most cable channels are lefty, including Fox News is becoming so. So I don't know any conservatives aside from like maybe baby boomer generation conservatives who watch any cable news, maybe like Fox News, silent generation too. Like there's just some of those that I think may actually watch cable, but I have a feeling that a lot of those viewers across cable networks, it's like Trump probably drew far more viewers watching on other stream. I watched Trump's RNC acceptance on Rumble. I think it was the Right Side Broadcasting Network or some, Newsmax, I don't know, whatever, one of those live streams that are constantly going. And I'm sure if you tallied that up, it would have been Trump won by a landslide. But the reason being is because everybody wants to see what the guy's saying, even when they hate his guts. Look at what happened with Elon Musk's X Space. Look at what happened with, even like when he did that press conference, I think about a month ago, and all the lefty celebrities were on there just, fuming over it. I think that they all tune in to watch. I don't, and to be honest with you, this is just my take on it. I think that the people that did tune in to watch, like myself, wanted to see if they actually came out and said something of substance, or did something of substance, or even just gave us actual policy positions or something. We haven't heard anything yet. We were assuming that her DNC acceptance speech for the nomination would have been a time to actually have policy stuff, real substantive talk. Didn't happen. Did not happen at all. And also, just for the record, sit back here. Sorry, getting dizzy. Just for the record, they did. There was speculation. Looks like I have like man boobs or something in this angle. I don't. I promise. I work my pecs out every day, a few times a week. There. Is that better? See him? Yeah. So they had speculated, this was going around, that there were going to be some major, there was going to be like a mysterious closer to the convention. Somebody amazing. It was like Beyonce, Taylor Swift, or George W. Bush. George W. Bush would have been like, that would have been a really weird one to me. I don't even know what he is. I know he's like a traditional conservative, allegedly, but wow, that would have been quite the, like, oh no, George W. Bush is there to disparage Trump. That would have really flipped my decision. It's like you brought in all the crappiest people to talk. And so, well, guess what? Beyonce or Taylor Swift and George W. Bush did not show up. Nothing happened. So they put this rumor out there and everybody was speculating this was going to happen. And of course, people were going to show up to watch. It's amazing. They're amazing at doing this. They're amazing at lying to people, propagandizing people, and onward. So here's another article. Let me give it to you. Oh no, where did you go? Just kidding. It won't open up. Let me see here. I'll refresh my feed. It's not going to show up now. Can I get this one to work? Come on, meow. It's so annoying. I promise I'm trying my best. All right, I'll do this. Close this out. OBS is so annoying sometimes. It's great, you know, free software. I use it all the time. It's been wonderful. Tonight, it does not want to be my friend. Come on, dude. It's ridiculous. Try it on here, maybe? Okay. Oh, it worked on there. Don't ask me why. I'm going to have to swap these two out. Okay. What's happening in that picture? What is that? Okay, that's a weird picture. All right, so you got this from CNBC. Harris says Trump wants to be an autocrat and tyrants are rooting for him. This is just the little bubbles there summarizing this BS. VP Harris said Republican presidential nominee Trump wants to be an autocrat as she accepted the Democratic president nomination. Trump admires dictators, treats our friends as adversaries and our adversaries as friends, said Rep. Alyssa Slotkin of my great state of Michigan. Yuck. He thinks Americans have made the ultimate sacrifice for suckers and losers. Okay, that never happened. That is a hoax. He would abandon our allies and isolate America, which is code for he would end wars and endless, pointless spending. VP Harris said Republican presidential nominee wants to be an autocrat. Yep, that's totally what he wants. I will not cozy up to tyrants and dictators like Kim Jong-un who are rooting for Trump, said Harris, because they know he is easy to manipulate with flattering favors. Oh yeah, that's what it's about. They know Trump won't hold autocrats accountable because he wants to be an autocrat. I bet you your freaking base probably doesn't even know what that means. As president, I will never waver in defense of America's security and ideals. Okay, can we just talk about this? Like, this is a woman who actively pushed for the overthrow of American ideals. She is one of those people that has had her sights set on disrupting the whole thing. But on top of that, America's security is so precious to her that she didn't even do anything about the border the whole time she was VP. And she's promising to do it now. And this idea that he praises dictators. He had a good working relationship with Putin. And he nearly had a deal worked out with Kim Jong-un to end the war in Korea. You know, there could be something to this idea that pissing off potential enemies is actually a bad idea. So do you have idiot Joe Biden up there saying things like, well, we need to replace Putin. We need to get rid of him. Like, how do you think that's going to work out when you're talking about nuclear powers? Don't you think being a little bit more diplomatic about it would be a good idea? And who do you think Kim Jong-un fears more? Trump or Kamala Harris? Trump or Joe Biden? Who do you think Kim Jong-un fears more? Exactly. Exactly. Guess what? Putin doesn't fear Biden at all because he just continued to do his thing. So this argument is dumb. Got my things all backwards now. All right, so he won't hold autocrats accountable because he wants to be an autocrat. Oh boy. The tyrants are laughing at her. She's weak and ineffective, and for 3.5 years she has done nothing except enable them to get strong, rich, and powerful, Trump wrote on Truth Social. Okay, well, that's true. Trump's well-documented admiration for dictators and autocrats hostile to the U.S. interests built on a theme established earlier in the night. She criticized him for that. She's a staunch She's a staunch defender of American ideals. I want to talk tonight about national security, said Rep. Alyssa Slotkin of the Michigan Department. I can't read, sorry, I'm so dizzy. The Democratic nominee for a Senate seat from that state this fall. Because the choice in November is stark: America retreating from the world or leading the world. Okay. America's fall from global dominance or leadership has not come at the hands of Trump. Joe Biden ruined that in about 10 seconds. Alyssa Slotkin, is she the one that said that they'll pull her? Is she a lesbian or something? They said they would pull the wedding ring from her. I don't even know. Cold dead fingers or something like that. Yeah, just like, okay, that's kind of a weird thing because nobody's talking about doing that. This whole thing is dumb. Now, I think that was her. It was her or Alyssa Slotkin. And there was like a Michigan. No, the Michigan senator was that lady that brought up Project 2025. I don't know. I can't keep up with who these people are, honestly. And I just think that whole thing is dumb. They're trying to push this premise that Republican or Trump's just going to come in with these like traditional Republican values that are going to be anti-gay, anti-women, like Trump he's got no plans to try to go after abortion. He's got no plans to try to go after gay marriage. He was one of the first presidential candidates to support gay marriage, honestly. So like, he's a traditional New York Democrat. He's not a conservative. Okay, it's just not who he is. So this whole premise is stupid. And then I'm tired of this argument about him wanting to be us to be an autocracy and us to be him to be a tyrant and all that stuff. It's like, you don't know how this works. You don't just show up because you're president and say, okay, I'm a tyrant now, and people just do what you want. I promise you, a Democrat would have a greater chance of being an autocrat or a dictator than a Republican would. Certainly more than Trump would, because the establishment hates him. The political elite hate him. The unions hate him. The military hates him. Everybody hates him. You don't just show up and go, okay, now I'm president. You have to listen to what I say. It's the president. The president's not that powerful of a figure, everybody. Like, calm down. They're not a monarch. And it's a hard time. I think people have a hard time wrapping their head around this. A lot of times when you'll hear people, like when they get elected, let's say like when Biden gets elected, and they go, well, why doesn't he just make it a law that everybody has to wear masks? Well, because that's not how this works. We have states' rights. We have separation of powers for a reason. Because we actually fought an entire war to combat a monarchy. We didn't want that. So you have that, okay? Or he should just mandate vaccines. Why won't he just do it? Why don't he just hit his gavel and everything is just, that's the law? Well, because that's not how this works. The president is not the emperor. He's not the king. He's a leader of the executive branch. He's really there to deal with foreign relations and trade and things like that. He's not there to just do your bidding and everybody will have to listen because he's the president. We obsess about the president in this country. Of course, Mark Kelly had to bring up the suckers and losers thing. Okay, that whole thing didn't happen. There was an article that came out, I think it was The Atlantic, and there was an anonymous source said that. Okay? Anonymous source could be a guy that was sitting on the ground outside. Okay? There's no proof he said it, no recordings that he said it, no prior statements like that. He's denied it. The source is anonymous. There's no way to prove that happened. So I'm going to call it BS on that one. But they keep repeating this line. Just, these people have no shame. All right. So there was another thing. Here we go. This is an article from The Hill. Just wait till you get a load of this one because it's pretty great. And there's just a couple more stories I wanted to go over, and then I'm going to call this one a night before I fall over. All right. So Trump's spectacle no match for Harris's substance. Like, this is an actual headline, y'all. Trump's spectacle is no match for Harris's substance. We live in a clown world. Substance. What substance are they talking about? They want you to, they think you're dumb. I think we're all idiots. This election isn't just another political match, it's a reckoning. For years, Donald Trump has masqueraded as the champion of the working class, a man of the people with a golden touch for business and so-called common sense solutions. Let's be real. The Trump oh Lord, the Trump campaign is a fraud. His foul populism is nothing more than a cynical con wrapped in theatrics and reality TV spectacle. While he posed for photo ops and riled up his base, his policies gutted protections for everyday Americans, and he padded the pockets of the ultra-wealthy. You do realize Joe Biden's the president, right? How much money has Joe Biden made off of, on the behalf of Americans, padding his pockets through corruption? Kamala Harris, meanwhile, couldn't offer a clearer contrast. She represents real leadership. This is such propaganda. I'm so tired of saying that word because it's all that this is. This is akin to, like, you should see a poster on the wall, some like Art Deco writing with Kamala's face on it and saying like, Kamala, a real leader or something. And like, it just couldn't offer a clear contrast. She represents real leadership, substantive policies that lift people. This is a joke. This is a joke, right? Harris isn't performing patriotism for the cameras like Trump. She's delivering it through action. She hasn't done anything, and she's been VP for 3 years. She's fighting for a future where every family has a shot at prosperity. Yep, things have gone so great, haven't they? Not just those born under wealth. Choice couldn't be clearer. Real patriotism versus fake populism. Real solutions versus hollow spectacle. Of course, it's going to be about reproductive rights. Abortion, the economy, the national debt ballooned by 7.8 trillion under Trump. Okay, well, how much is it ballooned under Biden and Obama, and will it balloon under her? She wants to raise the federal minimum wage. Okay, cool. That's not going to do anything. It's going to make things worse. Social Security, cuts to Social Security because we can't freaking afford it. Social Security is a dead program, okay? There's no money there for that. It is the biggest liability that we are going to have going forward, are social programs. Most of our national budget goes towards things like Social Security, things like Medicaid and Medicare. Trump spent 4 years dismantling the Affordable Care Act, jeopardizing the health coverage of millions without offering any real alternative. She's fought relentlessly to expand the ACA. The ACA has done nothing to benefit anybody more than it's just done to benefit the insurance companies. This is just a joke. 1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure law. Cool. Where did that money go? His populism is a charade. Okay, so they're basically just saying Trump is just all about himself. That's why he's doing this. He's egotistical. All he thinks about is himself. It's like, we're talking about politicians here. Okay? All politicians only care about themselves. They care about getting elected. And that whole thing is stupid. Okay? Do I think Trump really proved himself in his first term? I don't at all. Nope. I think he failed miserably. Do I trust him to go in there and tear apart the establishment and strain the swamp? I do not. I don't really think he's probably going to do much of anything. But to sit there and act like she is a home run because she's all of substance and he's pure spectacle because he's so egocentric, all he cares about is being flashy and showing off his, how amazing he is. Well, he has to do it because nobody else is. If Trump's going to go up there and try to get elected to be president, who else is promoting him? Aside from his base. Nobody. He has to do it himself. The media is so far up Kamala Harris's, campaign, let's just say that she doesn't have to do any self-promotion. She's done nothing for 3 years. We're going to continue down this road with her. The economy is terrible, okay? The Affordable Care Act is a joke, has been the whole time. Trump dismantled it because it was hurting Americans. And onward and onward. This whole thing is stupid. All right, well, I'm going to cut this video because I feel sick. Sorry. I'm really hoping in the next few days this stupid thing goes away. I have been miserable for about a week and a half now, and it's really cutting into my video time. I'm sorry. It's really hurting me. I do like doing this. It's just I can't sit here and talk. It's awful. It just makes me feel like I'm going to fall over. And it's annoying because when I'm done recording, I will feel better. So that's why I'm sitting like a complete slob right now, slouching, because I feel so awful. So I'm gonna go climb myself into bed here. If you could please like, subscribe, share my channel, whatever I have you. I'm on all sorts of platforms. If you would like to hear the audio only version, I am available with that. And just please help me do this, help me grow. I'm sorry about the lacking, quality the last few days, and just the short, the conciseness of this video. I just don't feel good, and I'm just trying. I'm like literally crawling myself in here just to keep this going because I want to keep it going. I love doing it. I'm just not feeling the greatest. So I appreciate y'all for watching my stuff, listening to me blabber, and I really hope that we can have a great, great election season together. College football starts tomorrow, everybody. Go Jackets. Get Georgia Tech, Florida State. Can't wait. Best time of the year. College football, pro football, hunting. Just, I love it. Can't get enough of it. So, have a great weekend, and thank you all for watching. I'll try to do a video tomorrow if I can handle it. If not, forgive me. I'm praying by next week this will finally be gone. You could say a prayer for me. Please ask for this stupid thing to go away, because I am dying. Like, it hurts. Like, it feels like right now somebody is taking a sewing needle, let's say a razor sharp knitting needle, and sticking it through my eardrum. And sorry, that's a weird motion to do, but it hurts so freaking bad, and I'm so dizzy. So thank you for watching. God bless. Have a great weekend.